This is Roger Hibbert and his beautiful wife Elizabeth, and we come now to one of Job's supposedly three friends. They're going to express themselves again. I think they're getting pretty well fed up with their, I know Job's fed up with them. They just can't believe Job is righteous and has suffered all this stuff. Has boils all over him, and he's sitting in an ash heap, and he's lost his. This is my beautiful wife Elizabeth. He lost his family. He lost. How could you be? Man, you really must have did something really bad. But God said he was blameless, but he did turn him over to the devil. Be careful of fear. Do not fear. God did not give us the spirit of fear. What did I say that for? Because Job said, the things that I feared have come upon me. We do not have the spirit of fear. We have the spirit of what? There's three things. Love, power. Hey, strong, heavy on the power. We have the same power that God used to raise Jesus from the dead. You mean we can raise people from the dead? Sure. That's no biggie. I haven't had that opportunity yet, but I look forward to it. And what's the third one? Different interpretations say it different ways. The one I've memorized is the power of a sound mind. So we have love, power, and a sound mind, not of fear. I know a whole family of fear. Boy, do they have problems. Okay. I say that because Job had fear. And it came upon him. What you think, what you act on, what you believe, that's what you want, and that's what God will give you. That's the spirit, All right. Then Bildad the Shuhite answered and said, I hope he's nicer than that. Let's see, this is chapter 25. Dominion and fear are with God. All right, I believe that. He makes peace in his high heaven. Dominion and fear are with God. Well, see, I just said we don't have the spirit of fear, so I don't know why he says this. He makes peace in his high heavens. Is there any number to his armies? Upon whom does his light not arise? How then can man be in the right before God? Question mark. We know how. We know what the works of God are. Jesus told us. He said the works of God, do you know what they are? This is Bible. The works of God are to believe on me and believe on the one who sent me. That's Bible. Sorry I don't have the verse in Scripture right now, but it's there. You look it up. How can he who is born of woman be pure? Well, that's true. Wow, this is a short chapter. How can he who is born of woman be pure? Behold, even the moon is not bright, and the stars are not pure in his eyes. How much less man who is a maggot, and the son of man who is worm. Okay, well, that's Bildad's a lot better than he usually is. All right, now we're in the last chapter of Habakkuk. And Habakkuk is a minor prophet that said, Lord, why are you using, I know we're bad, but why are you using those Chaldeans? Man, they're worse than we are, those Babylonians. Why are you using them to judge us? And God's answering him. This is the last chapter of Habakkuk. But we're just about through those minor prophets. Let's see. Hosea, Jonah, Amos, Obadiah, Jonah, Micah, Nahum, Habakkuk, Zephaniah, Haggai, Zechariah, Malachi. And then we start in Genesis. And then the rapture comes maybe. I'll have the whole Bible on YouTube. Habakkuk's prayer. Okay. I hope this is the one where though there's no cattle in the stalls. Anyway, here, let's go with it. A prayer of Habakkuk the prophet according to Shigionoth. O Lord, I've heard the report of you. So this is a prayer. O Lord, I've heard the report of you and your work. O Lord, do fear in the midst of the years, revive it. In the midst of the years, make it known. In wrath, remember mercy. God came from Teman, and the Holy One from Mount Paran. His splendor covered the heavens, and the earth was full of his praise. His brightness was like the light. Rays flashed from his hand, and there he veiled his power. Before him went pestilence, and plague followed his heels. He stood and measured the earth. He looked and shook the nations. Then the eternal mountains were scattered. The everlasting hills sank low. His were the everlasting ways. I saw the tents of Cushan in affliction. The curtains of the land of Midian did tremble. Was your wrath against the rivers, O Lord? Was your anger against the rivers, or your indignation against the sea, when you rode on your horses, on your chariot of salvation? You stripped the sheath from your bow, calling for many arrows. You split the earth with rivers. The mountains saw you and writhed. The raging waters swept on. The deep gave forth its voice. It lifted its hands on high. The sun and moon stood still in their place at the light of your arrows as they sped, at the flash of your glittering spear. You marched through the earth in fury. You threshed the nations in anger. You went out for the salvation of your people, for the salvation of your anointed. You crushed the head of the house of the wicked, laying him bare from thigh to neck. You pierced with his own arrows the heads of his warriors, who came like a whirlwind to scatter me, rejoicing as if to devour the poor in secret. You trampled the sea with your horses, the surging of mighty waters. I hear, and my body trembles. My lips quiver at the sound. Rottenness enters into my bones. My legs tremble beneath me. Yet I will quietly wait for the day of trouble to come upon people who invade us. Oh, I love these verses right here. I love these verses. Though the fig tree should not blossom, nor fruit be on the vines, the produce of the olive failed, and the fields yield no food. The flock be cut off from the fold, and there be no herd in the stalls. Yet I will rejoice in the Lord. I will take joy in the God of my salvation. God, the Lord, is my strength. He makes my feet like the deer's. He makes me tread on my high places. To the choir master with stringed instruments. Man, I love those verses right there. I love them especially in the old King James. This is pretty close to the King James, but it's called the ESV, English Standard Version. I like it, but I love the old King James. Though the fig tree should not blossom, nor fruit be on the vine, the produce of the olive fail, and the fields yield no food, the flock be cut off from the fold, and there be no herd in the stalls, yet I will rejoice in the Lord. I will take joy in the God of my salvation. I love those last verses. Man, I just love those. I love them especially in the old King James. We'll get the old King James out one of these days and read those verses in it, because I love the poetry there. All right, now we're on to Zephaniah. We'll be in Zephaniah tomorrow, and won't that be great? Hey, he's in the days of Hezekiah and the days of Josiah. Wow, those were two great kings, Hezekiah and Josiah. And sandwiched between them was the meanest king ever, and that was Manasseh. In fact, God said the reason he put them into Babylonian captivity. One reason was because of Manasseh. Manasseh was a bad dude. All right. Manasseh, when Manasseh was born, he was 12 years old when he became king. Remember good King Hezekiah? It was Hezekiah, right? And Isaiah comes to him and says, set your house in order, you're going to die. And Hezekiah turns to the wall and starts crying, saying, God, I've tried to do right. I've been, he prays. And Hezekiah is told, before he even gets home, he's told to go back and tell tell Hezekiah he's got more years to live, another 50, I think he even tells him he has another 15 years to live. Well, during that 15 years, Hezekiah has that son Manasseh. Oh, man. I don't know why Manasseh turned out so bad. All right. Thank you for listening.